Luddy's damn Discord. All right, Luds, are you ready for this?
Wonder Woman.
I know what Sam's going for. Every time I pull one up, we need like the da-na-na-na-na.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking
thing.
of. Yeah.
From Gunny, who is the one person you most hated playing against? Someone you really wanted to punch in the face each time you face them.
My teammate, Claude Lemieux. Pepe pissed everybody off. There were I don't even remember their names. It was in Quebec City. We had a couple little guys. If you could go back to the early 80s, there was a couple of them little shift disturbers. That
nice.
Yeah. And then Pierre forward.
Turgeon?
No. Turge wouldn't. LaRouche.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why?
He pissed me off. Well, one time we were in Hartford, and I chopped him a little bit. And so I got a penalty, and I'm in the box, and now there's no glass in the penalty box area. And Lucky Pierre.
So you could just yell at each other.
No, but he's on the ice yet.
Okay.
But they're on the power play.
Oh,
so
okay.
There's a face-off right outside the blue line, right where I am, where the penalty box is. And I watch him just before the referee drops the puck. He goes like that, and he goes over to his left winger, and he tells him something. Then he just kind of did that. He fired the puck right after me, right on the face-off. I don't remember who our guy was taking the draw. Oh, yeah, it went right by my head sitting in the box. That was pretty good. I mean, he's a good player, 50-goal scorer.
I mean, to be able to pull a move like that.
Pete would always get 50 on his contract year.
Oh, yes.
yeah. But he was one of them. I hated Beaker, too. Couldn't stand playing against Beaker.
Really?
Say that all the time. You hate to play against them, but when they're on your team, man, you love them because now, number one, they're not, sticking you and chasing you around. So, yeah, again, there was a few guys, but nothing bad. I mean, I don't think many people like me either, so it didn't really affect.
Were you aware of anybody that you were able to get under their skin when you played? Or they just found that you... Oh,
you know what? It's so different. Like getting under somebody's skin now really is a big thing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because nobody does that much anymore. There's not really that guy. Who does Dallas have that does that? Dallas have that guy? Remember when Anton Roussel was here?
Yeah.
Roos was probably the last guy.
Yeah.
Antoine was probably the last guy.
Well, I mean, they had Corey Perry, but it was sort of in the back end of his career.
He's a little different because he's a 50-goal scorer. He's a Stanley Cup winner. You know what I mean? Like you have a little bit more respect.
Boy, could he agitate people.
Oh, yeah. They're good yappers. And the thing was there weren't as many yappers. Like Matthew Barnaby. I didn't like Barney either, but he's a good guy and everything. Didn't like playing against him, but he was really good at his job, just like you said, Steve Ott.
Yep. God, I want to ask more follow-ups, but we got to keep going with the Discord. Jay Naz, if Luds had to choose from drinking a bottle of Malort in one sitting or filling up his boot with Guinness and drinking it dry after an OT thriller in which he played 30 minutes, what does he choose?
Wow, that's a deep question.
Okay, well, I've never played 30 minutes. I don't know what Malort is.
Four OTs we'd have to go to, right?
Yeah.
I would...
By the way, I also don't know what Malort is. Okay, Malort is a bitter wormwood-based liquor that is considered the unofficial liquor of Chicago, according to Google.
I'll go with the Malort because I can't stand Guinness.
Intensely bitter, herbaceous,
it's just terrible.
And
it's in the boot. I'd rather just chew on the boot.
Apparently, people say it's citrus-flavored gasoline.
Oh,
well, I'd rather do that
similar to
than
Guinness.
Do we think Jay Nays is expressing an opinion on Guinness, like basically saying these are two horrible options?
Seems like Guinness, by the way. I don't drink it a lot, but
I don't drink beer. But back in the day, I hated Guinness. Hated it. My friends love it. Well, they're all Boston guys, so it makes sense.
They also probably like mixing it with.
They have Ireland in their blood.
So. They probably like mixing Guinness with a little whiskey. So
I know they're pouring something in it.
It's just a notch above motor oil.
They all do the thing where with Guinness where you have to try to drink it to like the top of the harp or something. Is that what they do with it?
Did you read Ronnie?
Don't drink.
I did.
Ronnie says
Jim Sock tea.
It tastes like Malort. Tastes like Jim Sock tea.
He said Malort is never the answer.
Oh, I thought he was saying Jim as in J-I-M. I don't know Jim either.
As in like workout sock.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Malort. There's Ronnie. Malort is never the answer.
That's awesome.
And it's about as thick as them too.
T Farmer said, haha, he would hate Malort more. All right,
what's next? T Farmer.
What do we got?
Challenge me.
Oh.
Tyler HK93. What is the ceiling on Wyatt Johnston? Feels like we haven't had a player like this since Madonna. Fun question. Can you only drink whiskey, milk, or beer the rest of your life? Oh, you can only drink those. Which one do you pick? Milk, beer, or whiskey? There you go. See, we're getting creative today, folks.
That's
I
a
love
good
it.
one. It's the serious part first.
Yes. Wyatt Johnston's ceiling. Is he in the realm of Mike Madonna was very lofty.
I'm not going to say Mo. I think that's unfair to him. But Wyatt's a different player.
Mhm.
You know, Wyatt's gets in there a little grittier, hangs around the front of the net. Mo was just pretty boy that could score, you know, and Wyatt's jersey's never going to be flapping behind him like Mo's would.
Well, it's not fair. The jerseys are much snugger now than
Yeah.
they used to be, too.
I don't think he
Well,
has
and
a
he's a
strap
littler
attached to it.
guy, and
But
I
boy,
know
is
you
he
guys
good.
think he's American. He's
Hey,
not really.
that goal he scored against Calgary, the old,
Yeah.
pickpockets
Yeah,
wheel,
it's
and
beauty.
I mean, he's capable of he's
just,
unassuming.
I don't know if he's going to get to 561.
Yeah. Okay.
How many
That's
goals
right.
did Mo score?
The beer.
That's the only reason I know that. That's the only reason. And you know how bad that was? I was sitting with Mo when we did a thing with this beer and it was at a brewery out in Texas out here. And so we were at the distillery and we're doing that and drinking the beer and stuff like that. And finally I just said, well, where'd you come up with 561? And he's got this stupid look all the time. No matter what it is, it's a stupid look. And he didn't even say nothing. I said, no, I'm serious. I said, is it significant for something? Or, I mean, why
He's
561?
looking at you like you have three heads.
I never
The one
kept
in the city that
I
doesn't know that.
honestly never knew that he had scored. I knew he was the leading American goal, but I didn't know what the number was. I don't know stats. I don't know guys' stats and stuff like that. So
Do you know how many goals you scored in your career?
I do not many. I do know that when we talked about Matt Duchene, he scored 353 goals and 835 assists. So I say he's more of a passer than a shooter in 1,089 games or something like that.
That's a lot of points.
Yeah, that's points.
What was the second part?
Other half of the question was you can only drink milk,
Yeah,
beer, or whiskey for the rest of your life. Which do you pick?
That's tough.
I know the answer. Or at least I know
Tough
what I
for
think he's
him.
going to say.
Really?
Yeah.
I think too.
I think it's going to be milk. I mean, I'm sure you
Not
guys
what I
wouldn't,
had.
wouldn't
Nope.
think that.
I
Yeah,
thought beer.
I thought Miller Lite was going to be the
I've
answer.
tried putting beer on my Wheaties once. It ain't what they say
So-
it is. So I would have to go. Oh yeah, I'd go with milk.
Do you remember that movie, Revenge of the Nerds, where they're
Yeah.
sitting and he pours the beer into the cereal and starts eating it?
Yeah, I've done that.
And
But
no,
it's not like it is on the show. Like it
it's gross.
tastes like ass.
38,
Yeah.
38 career goals for you, Luds.
38.
7 in your second season. You
I was
exploded.
gonna trivia that one.
You exploded for 7.
And listen to this.
Oh,
Here's
Buds,
one.
quick though. We're at 59.
Yes, thank you for
Oh,
those of you watching on our fast channels. We have to sign off there. We will continue our damn Discord on YouTube, and of course, when you're listening to this on the audio streaming podcast platforms. Thank you for watching. Okay, we continue.
That I scored a goal in my first year, and they actually had it in the paper the next day in the Journal of the puck in the net. And I didn't get it was against Washington, so I didn't get credit for it, which I didn't.
I was about to say, I'm looking at your rookie year right
Yeah,
now. And it
0.
says 0
Yeah.
goals.
No,
so
I
was
didn't get
gonna
credit
call
for
So
it.
you
out
got
that.
hosed on your first NHL goal?
My first NHL
Come
goal was
on.
against Washington in Montreal. Anyway, the 7 that I scored in Montreal, I was on the power play. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
You had 1 power play point.
Yep, they would tell me, go to the front of the net and stand there. When the puck comes out of the zone, go to the red line, and when it's dumped in, don't go get it, go stand there. And so I just
be a
stood.
body.
I just stood in front of the net.
That's funny because that would have been your career high in points would have been that year if they gave you that
Boy,
one goal.
I'll tell you what, the boys in the chat are enjoying this.
Yeah.
Because we have Ardell said Luds has 2 rings, all that matters. Then T Farmer said, actually Ronnie said Craig Ludwig 38 blonde.
You knew
Is that a
Said
beer?
that would
your new beer.
be a great name for a
Tell
beer.
Mo.
And then T Farmer said 222 points. That's a nice number for a beer. 222.
That'd be a cool one.
See?
You got to come up with something.
I had a beer. It's
What if
called
you
Lud
named
Suds.
it after
Lud
the?
Suds?
Yeah, it was at Tight Ends. The just brewery out in Allen that did it. Was that brewery used to be called 9 Band, and there's a bad ending for that brewery. But
So they're not serving. It's tight ends is over.
no,
off,
I think one of them serving,
121.
but he's serving time.
Oh, that.
Yeah, one of them.
But not the beer.
No
Not
more
the
of
beer.
No,
No.
that's a bummer.
And it really, it was a wheat beer, a honey wheat beer, but it was going to be one of them kind of craft beers. And I said, man, and they told me when out there, I said, Mr. Ludwig, we know you got to taste some. Which one do you like? He goes, but we got Miller Lite in the back room there for you. Because we know that you don't like it. And so, anyways, we found something that's close, and it was a honey wheat beer. My kids liked it, but it didn't last long.
Ardell said Lutz has more goals than Gretzky. Brent Gretzky.
I called UHL games with Brent.
Yeah?
He was playing for a couple different places. He's a hell of a player. Just
couldn't
shadow.
Just couldn't live up to the
couldn't put it
brother
in like
family.
you, eh?
Yeah, I know. Couldn't do what I did.
He at the UHL level. He was really fun to watch. Very skilled, but yeah. Wayne, I mean, that's not fair. It's like talking about Madonna, right? All right, what's the next one, John?
So I believe first note though is that Gunny, J Nays, and Tyler HK. I believe those three are all three of our newer diehards.
Nice.
So their question went first. Now we're going
nice.
into some of the P1s. I think.
Oh, well, by the way, let me ask you that. Because Sturm's got the P1s and what is a P1? What does that stand for? What does the P stand for?
Well, I think P1 is a term they used in Formula One racing, meaning first position. So if
Does that got something to do with the
It's like
P1s?
day ones. It's like people who have
P1,
been there.
you're in the pole position. So I believe that's the origin of the ticket followers, is people that listen to it. They call
How can
them
they
the
all
P1s.
be P1s? Wouldn't there just be one? I thought it was preferred. I thought it meant preferred, like our fan base or something like that. So
It's like a,
anybody know that in the chat, by the way? Anybody know what
Yeah.
Day
P1
one
OG.
P1s. Well, they call it day one
OG.
P1s.
Yeah.
Ask somebody. Let me ask the
like an
people
OG.
that are
Well,
asking me.
we're the diehards.
Well, whatever we are, somebody answer that. What's a P1? Why? What's that called? The ticket? Those guys have P1s, right?
Yeah.
So,
There you go.
Anyways,
okay.
All right, fire it up
Here's
there.
the next one. I Love Missy 1985. We're getting into the OGs, as John liked to
Yep.
call them. Do you ever
Yes.
Do you ever regret not coming back for the 99-2000 season? I still remain convinced the Stars could have repeated if you were on the team.
You know what? That year I was Bob Gainey in the summer. I'd retired, and he asked if I would go to Utah. Or no, that was when they were in Michigan. They were in
Kalamazoo.
Yeah, Kalamazoo.
Yep.
And and it was Christmas time, and I was with my buddy snowmobiling, and he called me up. And I had to go outside the bar because they were all hooting and hollering in the bar. And I'm standing out in the snowbank. I didn't put my leathers on or anything. But Gainey, we're talking. He goes, "Hey, I'd like to know if you'd coach our, go down." And anyway, I said, let me think about it. And anyway, after I called him back a couple days later, I said, "Yeah, sure, I'll do it." And he goes, "Hey, when you get there, there's like 5 days where there's no games." I said, "Okay, good. That's a good time to he wanted to work on the defensive zone and stuff like that." He goes, "Grab your equipment and take it with you." I'm like, "What?" And he goes, "Just take your stuff. I'll take all your stuff with you." I said, "Why?" And he goes, "Well, I'd like you to just take your stuff with you. You can skate during them 5 days." I said, "Why the hell would I skate? We're going to be doing practice and stuff like that." "Well, and Bobby, I want you to come back and play this year." I'm like, "What?" And he says, "Yeah, I'd like you to come back." And I said, "Really?" And that was in December or January, whatever it was. And I said, "Give me a couple of weeks to think about it." And I ultimately called Bob Gainey back, and I said, "Listen," I said, "I appreciate it, but," I said, "my kids are just starting high school." And I said, "I don't really care if I'm 40 years old, haven't played, been drinking all summer, been snowmobiling, all this other kind of stuff. And you want me to step in the middle of the season." I said, "Bo, I don't care about me getting torched out there by some guy during a game." I said, "But I can't let my kids go to school when they're going, 'Oh my God, did your dad just get beat last night?'" I said, "Sorry, I can't do it." And then I'm sitting in Kalamazoo and I'm watching those guys go to the finals. The Stars go to the finals that year, and I'm thinking, "Oh, you dumbass."
Would you have been in the slot there to get that pass and stop Arnott from burying that one?
Well, Arnie would have been KO'd by the time by that first game. I knocked Arnie out once in Edmonton.
Did you?
Yeah. But anyway, and I like.
I'm
Arnie's
sure
a
you
good guy.
never bring that up to him and remind him of that.
I think he knows. I think he remembers.
It's the radio preset is P1. Your first preset.
Is that what it is?
First preset on your radio.
From,
So
Ardell.
it's not what you thought it was.
According to Ardell,
Thank
he said
you, Ardell.
position 1. But
Oh, same thing. What
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
saying.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
all right, next one. Schmitty, reworded for clarity. That's always fun. The podcast gets into a bar fight in Boston following a Bruins loss to the Stars. Who would be the most helpful in that situation and why?
I'm just gonna get it.
We literally
hit the
did
showers.
this with DLLS of you and Jesse
But
were,
this is just art.
but it's just the Stars podcast now. Are you going with the Boston guy?
Wait a second. What's the question? Like what?
Pop it up again, John.
Wait.
Read it a second time.
Oh, the podcast. Oh,
Us,
I thought we were talking about game. Oh, Jesse.
no, it's this show.
Oh, this show?
It's the people in this room.
Does that include like management though? Because technically, like Bobby's on the table, Ben's on the table, all the
I
way
think
up.
he means just
Just us
the
and
show,
Sean.
us and Sean. Yeah.
I think if they're on the table, it's still just up to the people in this room.
I feel I would just say, guys, stand back, and I'll take the beating myself.
This is a biz nasty.
I'd rather get the hell beat out of me than have one of you guys in there trying to back me up.
Yeah, that wouldn't. I mean, the Boston dudes who fight in the bars obviously are like losers, but the second they start throwing around like buddy and pal, like it needs to be taken.
Does it help that I have multiple years of combat training, Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu?
And did you say Muay Thai?
Muay Thai.
Muay Thai.
Mm-hmm. And boxing. Does that help at all?
It does.
And people hated me on the ice.
Oh, that helped. But
so everybody in
trying
the
to sell
chat
myself
seems
here.
to think John is the one that you should take because
look at
no, he has it's John has that crazy look in his eye. You don't f with John. John probably had to fight before experience, and
I've never had to fight. I mean, I had an older brother who used to beat the crap out of
and
me every
John
day, so.
has all that rage.
Yeah, I'd say don't go with me would be my recommendation. I appreciate this picture that I've apparently painted of myself, but
It's good.
I don't think I'd be very. It has to be Luds in the front, and I think Owen for height could go next to him, and then Sam
Owen can reach around.
Sam could be like the tapped little guy who we need to hold back, and like we start to warn the other people,
Yeah,
like,
like,
hey, you
this
guys
little
don't
guy
want to
over
mess
here
with
is
him.
crazy.
Yeah.
Then
And
eventually-
I'll have some Alka-Seltzer coming out of the mouth.
we'd have to
Absolutely.
bring
Sam
we'd have
gets
to bring
crazy.
Radigan along then too. He could do the
Well, he's not on the
play-by-play.
show.
Oh, that'd be great.
Do you have Sam? Do you get like bloodshot eyes if you have like 5 drinks? I feel like your eyes would get like pretty red.
Probably.
Yeah, because I feel like
he says, have you ever had 5 drinks?
Oh, yeah.
No, I don't. I mean, all at once.
Oh, yeah.
In one sitting.
I've broken my ankle 2 times in my life. Both were vodka soda infused evenings that I was dancing.
nice. Weddings?
Dancing injuries.
Not
Nice.
weddings. And one of them was because I stepped on a girl.
Whoops.
Let's get
I don't
back to Luds, eh?
What's the next one? Ben, this is Super Chat Ben, right?
Yep.
Which DLLS crew member would Luds want to be stranded with on a desert island and why? Wow. Did you guys hear that?
I heard
Who was
that.
that? Was that
Abby.
It was Abby.
So-
was that Abby?
Are you requesting Abby? I think. There you go.
Okay,
I don't know
Abby.
if the
I'll
mics
take
could pick
Abby.
that up, but Abby just yelled her own name from
Yes.
across the studio.
Abby of the Rangers pod and, of course, part of our social team as well.
Did somebody here write that question?
No, that was Ben. Not our GM Ben, but Ben from the chat Discord, the diehard Ben.
I mean, you got to go with whoever has like who would have the best survival skills, right?
Yeah,
Which, based on
I
appearance,
haven't.
might be Sean
I have
Shapiro.
confidence in no one in here
If
that
you-
I've seen.
If you had to do a survivor thing and
Huh?
somebody had to build a fire,
Well, what about my little green beret guy next to me?
Do you think you can fashion a
I
canoe
don't know.
out of
When
a
I get
log?
hungry, I guess I'm gonna have to start eating them.
You have to be, but hey,
Last summer.
microphone into the
Sorry.
mic.
2 week. I have 2 separate bachelor parties that I've done. 2 weeks in the woods survival, learning all that stuff, weapons, everything. I'm telling you,
That's
lads.
what you do for a bachelor party?
Yeah, the brothers are kind of crazy.
Okay, take Sam.
Next one.
Take Sam.
T Farmer, how do you spell?
Oh, hold on.
John will say the word.
Well, we couldn't put the word on the
Why?
screen, or else Luds would have had the spelling in front.
That's
of him.
right.
The word you have to spell, Luds, is
Anti-disestablishment.
Easy for you to say.
anti-disestablishmentarianism.
ANTI. Do I got that part?
You nailed that part.
I
Yes.
ESTABLISHMENT. Is it anti-dis? What was it? Was it
Anti-
disestablishment?
Anti-disestablishmentarianism.
Okay, well then I got just put a DIS in front of the E then. And then put an MENT after I spelled establishment for you.
Arianism.
What?
That's the end of the word.
What was it?
Arianism.
Arianism?
Anti-disestablishmentarianism.
Oh, Terryism. TARISM.
I think there's an extra little bit in there, right?
Yeah, you skipped the middle of the
It's
word.
Terryism, not terrorism.
Well, I'd prefer terrorism.
Terryism.
I got my little green
We're
beret next to me. I'm good.
Pro-terrorism podcast.
Yeah. Why that?
I'd say close enough.
Yeah.
I'd say we give it to him.
Nobody ever thought it was going to get that far.
No, I did not. I will admit.
Big word.
Final one is a repeat from Schmitty.
Schmitty says, which would be more entertaining, John trying to score a goal or on Sean or Ludge trying to produce the podcast?
Oh, I could produce the pot after watching this clown. I know I can do this.
Yeah,
I know I can do this.
What is the password to the computer?
I don't know.
He doesn't know the password.
Why
to
do
his
I need
computer.
that?
We wouldn't even get off the
He doesn't
ground.
know the password to his computer.
No, I could do the podcast. I could.
All right.
I
Our
can
ne-
run
But
our
that.
actually,
next-
you could run the equipment.
One thing I know, when we say the show is going to be from 2 to 3, I'd be in my car at 2:01 or 3:01. It's already
well, that's
3:11.
not producing the
3:11.
podcast. That's being in Owen's chair.
We'll do next.
Oh, wow.
Next damn Discord. We're just gonna have John sitting there and
Yeah.
Lutz
And we'll-
be over there.
I get to play with all the buttons
He just hit all
and
the
the sound
buttons.
effects. All right. Okay.
That is it. That's all.
That
we have.
is
That's it.
a heavyweight Luddy's damn Discord channel.